I can use addition and subtraction to solve multi-step word problems involving length, mass, and capacity. So today it's all about tape diagrams and adding and subtracting using the meter, the liter, and the gram. Okay, the first problem. The apples Beth bought weighed 3 kilograms, 420 grams. Her oranges weighed 1,050 grams less than the apples. How much did the apples and oranges weigh together? So you're going to try it out. Highlight important information first, always. Don't forget the most important part, the question. What do they want to know? Draw a tape diagram and then solve it. Okay, so on this slide you have your workspace. The apples Beth bought weighed 3 kilograms. Okay, go ahead and highlight everything. Draw your tape diagrams, work it out, and pause this. We will go over the answer once you start the video back up again. Okay, check your work, see if it looks like mine. Okay, so the first one that we're gonna just look at together, we know that the apples weighed 3 kilograms, 420 grams, minus, because the oranges weighed 1,050 grams less, so the key word there is less, meaning you're going to subtract less than the apples. How much did the apples and oranges weigh together? So, if we subtract this, we could say 1 kilogram, couldn't we? Couldn't we change the 1,050 grams to 1 kilogram, and that leaves us with 50 grams. So let's subtract and see. Okay, we have grams, and then we have 0 minus 0 is 0. 2 minus 5, you can't do it. Borrow from the neighbor. Put the 1 in front. 12 minus 5. 12 minus 5 is 7. 3 minus 0 is 3. Then let's put our kilogram down there, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So we end up with 2 kilograms, 370 grams. But the question isn't how much did the oranges weigh? The question is, how much did the apples and oranges weigh together? So now we're going to take our apples, which are 3 kilograms, 420 grams, plus 2 kilograms, 370 grams. That's how heavy our oranges were. So we add those together and we end up with 0 plus 0 is 0. 7 plus 2 is 9. 4 plus 3 is 7. Put your kilograms in there, and 3 plus 2 is 5. So the apples and oranges weighed 5 kilograms, 790 grams. Okay, that should be your answer. If it was not your answer, you need to take a minute, look back at your work, compare it to this slide, so go ahead and pause it if you got it incorrect, and see what you did wrong. 790 grams. Okay, that should be your answer. If it was not your answer, you need to take a minute, look back at your work, compare it to this slide, so go ahead and pause it if you got it incorrect, and see what you did wrong. Okay, you could have also solved that problem by converting your kilograms into grams. We would still come up with the same answer, but let's go ahead and subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. 2 minus 5, you can't do it, so I'm going to borrow 1 from my 4. That makes a 4, 3. I take the 1, put it next to the neighbor. 12 minus 5 is 7. 3 minus 0 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So my oranges weighed 2,370 grams. Now, remember the question is how much did the apples and oranges weigh together? So now we're going to take our information that we just learned and we're going to add it, the apples and the oranges. So 0 plus 0 is 0. 7 plus 2 is 9. 4 plus 3 is 7. 3 plus 2 is 5. So the apples and oranges weighed 5,790 grams. Now you can't leave it like that, so you have to convert it back, which would give us what we had earlier. 5 kilograms, 790 grams. Okay, try it out. Highlight important information, draw a tape diagram, and solve. Adele let out 18 meters, 46 centimeters of string to fly her kite. She then let out 13 meters, 78 centimeters more before reeling back in 590 centimeters. How long was her string after reeling it in? Boy, I hope you take the time to definitely highlight the important information. There's a lot of information here, but when you start highlighting, and you think about how your bars are going to look compared to each other, it gets pretty easy. And don't forget the most important, the question. How long was her string after reeling it in? So here's your workspace. Go ahead, pause, highlight all the important information, draw your tape diagrams, and answer your question. Okay, here's what I highlight on mine. She let out 18 meters, 46 centimeters of string. She then let out 13 meters, 78 centimeters, what? 78 centimeters more. So if you notice, I have my bar representing my 18 meters, 46 centimeters, but then she let out more. So I'm going to add to that bar because I have more that's being let out. She reeled back in 590 centimeters. So this is what she reeled back in. Now the question is, how long was her string after reeling it in? So I used an S for the variable. So let's go to the next slide and see how we solve this. So I have a bar across the top. I have a bracket across the top. What do you think I'm going to have to do to those two numbers? I'm going to have to add them. So let's start. Centimeters. 6 plus 8 is, excuse me, 6 plus 8 is 14, carry my 1. 7 plus 4, that's 11, plus 1 is 12. So I have 124 centimeters. And how many meters? 8 plus 3, that's 11, carry my 1. 31 meters, 124 centimeters. Well, if I have meters listed, can't I take my 1 and add it to my 31? So I have 32 meters. 124 centimeters. No, sorry about that. 32 meters, 24 centimeters. But that's going to get a little confusing, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it as 31 for now. 31, 124 centimeters. Okay. So let's look down at the next slide. So we have 31 meters, 524 centimeters minus 590 centimeters. So how am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? I could just subtract like this, or what might be easier? It might be easier to say, let's go ahead and change this. Let's go ahead and change this to a 32 meters, 24 centimeters. If I have 590 centimeters, that's the same as 5 meters, 90 centimeters. Now, is that easier to subtract? I think so. So let's write this out and solve this problem. 32 meters, 24 centimeters, minus 5 meters, 90 centimeters. So in the end, I'm probably going to end up borrowing a meter back. So I have 24 minus 90. I can't do that. So I'm going to borrow a meter from my 32. And that's going to become 31 meters, 124 centimeters. You know, I guess I didn't need to convert that to begin with, did I? Now I can subtract. So 4 minus 0 is 4. 12 minus 9 is 3. 31 minus 25 is, or 31 minus 5, sorry about that, is 26. So my answer is 26 meters, 34 centimeters. 26 meters, 34 centimeters. Okay. Cheyenne's barrel contains 6 liters, 775 milliliters of paint. She poured in 1 liter, 118 milliliters more. The first day, Cheyenne used 2 liters, 125 milliliters of paint. After the second day, there were 1,769 milliliters of paint remaining in the barrel. How much paint did Cheyenne use on the second day? Highlight important information, draw the tape diagram, and solve. So here's your workspace. Go ahead, highlight, draw your tape diagrams, work it out, and solve it. When you're done, we'll go through the answer together. Okay. So her barrel contained 6 liters, 775 milliliters of paint. We know exactly how much paint she had to begin with, right? But she added 1 liter, 118 milliliters more. There's that more again. So that means I'm going to take that bar and I'm going to add it together. So I have milliliters What's 5 plus 8? 5 plus 8 is 13. 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. 7 plus 1 is 8. And 6 plus 1 is 7. So, right now, the total amount of paint that I have in my barrel is 7 liters, 893 milliliters. Now, the first day, Cheyenne used 2 liters, 125 milliliters. When you use something, she used it. When you use something, are you gaining it or losing it? You're losing it. So, you have to subtract 2 liters, 125 milliliters from the amount of paint that she started with. Because that's how much she used, okay? So we have milliliter. 3 minus 5, I can't do it, so I'm going to go borrow 1 from the neighbor. My 9 becomes an 8. The one I just got rid of sets next to the neighbor. 13 minus 5. 13 minus 5 is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. 8 minus 1 is 7. And then we have 7 minus 2. 7 minus 2 is 5. So after she used her paint the first day, she now has 5 liters, 768 milliliters of paint left in her bucket. So after the second day, all that's left in the bucket is 1,769 milliliters of paint. How much paint did she use on the second day? Well, for this, you got to find the difference. How much does it take to get from 1,769 milliliters to 5 liters, 768 milliliters? Okay, so we're going to take 5 liters, 768 milliliters, minus 1,769 milliliters, or we could say 1 liter, 769 milliliters. Now, I already see that I'm not going to be able to subtract 769 from 768. So I'm going to borrow 1 liter, and that's going to become 4. And now I'm going to add 1,000 to my milliliters. So I have milliliters. I can't do 8 minus 9, so I'm going to borrow 1 from my 6. Add the 1 to my neighbor. 18 minus 9 is 9. I can't take 6 away from 5, so I'm going to borrow from the neighbor. 17, that becomes 16. Put my 1 in front of it. 15 minus 6 is 9. 16 minus 7 is 8. 4 minus 1 is 3. So, Shaya used 3 liters, 899 milliliters. Oh, on the second day. Yeah, on the second day. Okay, on Thursday, the pizzeria used 2 kilograms, 180 grams less flour than they used on Friday. On Friday, they used 12 kilograms, 240 grams. On Saturday, they used 1,888 grams more than on Friday. What was the total amount of flour used over the 3 days? Try it out. Highlight important information, draw a tape diagram, and then solve. Okay, here's your workspace. Go ahead, pause, highlight the important information, draw your tape diagram, and then solve it. Okay, so on mine I highlighted, on Thursday, the pizzeria used 2 kilograms, 180 grams less flour than they used on Friday. Less. Are you going to add or are you going to subtract? Is the bar going to be longer or shorter than on Friday? On Friday, they used 12 kilograms, 240 grams. That bar, I know exactly how long it's going to be because it tells me the exact amount. 12 kilograms, 240 grams. On Saturday, they used 1,888 grams more than on Friday. What's my keyword? More. So I drew a box the length of my Friday, and then I added on a piece because it's going to be more, and that piece is 1,888 grams. So the question is, what was the total amount of flour used over the 3 days? So to find out the total amount of flour, first I have to find out how much flour I used on Thursday. How much flour they used on Thursday. I know they used 2 kilograms, 180 grams less than they used on Friday, so I'm going to subtract those two amounts. So I have my grams. 0 minus 0 is 0. 4 minus 8, you can't do it. Let's borrow 1 from the neighbor and let it set in front of it. 14 minus 8 is 6. 1 minus 1 is 0. Then my kilograms. 12 minus 2 is 10. So on Thursday, the pizzeria used 10 kilograms, 60 grams. And if I want to know if I'm correct, I could add 10 kilograms, 60 grams plus 2 kilograms, 180 grams, and that should give me the amount that they used on Friday. Okay. So now we know what Thursday is. Now, the problem is for Saturday, we just know grams. So let's take Friday and convert it all to grams. And we would end up with 12,240 grams. So 12,240 grams plus 1,888 grams. What does that equal? That is grams. Okay, 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 8 is 12. Carry the 1. 8. 2 plus 8 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Carry the 1. Don't forget your comma back there. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, and then 1. So, on Saturday, they used 14,128 grams of flour. Now, I could take that now and convert it to kilograms and grams. And if I did that, I would end up with 14 kilograms and 128 grams. Okay, the question is, what was the total amount of flour used over the 3 days? So we have our grams, 8 plus nothing is 8. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. 2 plus 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. Okay, now we're in kilograms. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. And then 3 ones would be 3. So the total amount of flour was 36 kilograms, 428 grams. Now I want to show you something. Was 36 kilograms, 428 grams. Now I want to show you something. On your problem set, number 1 looks familiar, very familiar. Number 2, that looks very familiar. Number 3 looks familiar. Number 4, familiar. 5 and 6 we did not do today. So you have the answers and the tape diagrams for numbers 1 through 4 on your problem set. The only 2 that you're going to have to do on your own to show what you know would be problems 5 and 6.